Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews. We have some news, but before we get into that, I want to ask that if you guys enjoy this kind of content, please make sure you hit that subscribe button, as well as the bell next to it to be notified of any future videos. That way you can stay up to date on everything that I release, as I release new videos every day, sometimes numerous videos. And make sure you hit that thumbs up as well, because every time you hit that thumbs up, you help the channel out greatly. So anyway, on with the news. The very first thing that I want to tell you guys about is actually from David Krentz Arts, as he is continuing to sculpt some of the best dinosaur models that you'll ever see anywhere. And actually, he's been more interested in sculpting out some smaller sizes lately, like 1/35th scale, and he is intending on creating more dinosaurs in that line, and he's actually working on one right now, which we can see right here is the Ichthyovenator. And what a really cool looking model overall, and of a species that we really do not see get models made very often, which is really exciting if you ask me. I definitely would consider picking this one up. This is definitely something I would like to have in my collection, because again, there are so few models out there of that species, and I actually don't believe I have anything from David Krentz Arts in my collection, which is pretty much a travesty, I would say. So this may be the one that pushes me over the edge and I end up purchasing one, but I wanted to show you guys the progress that he has currently going on as far as his Ichthyovenator model goes, and we'll just have to sit back, await its finish, and then find out more as far as price point when it is ready to go up for pre-sale. And I also stumbled upon these images on Facebook. These were actually posted by Dana Geraths, and it is a beautiful looking Dilophosaurus model that was sculpted by Dana Geraths apparently quite a few years ago. It was meant to represent a Dilophosaurus who was kind of starving, walking across a dried up riverbed, which is a really cool, kind of a sad, but at the same time very realistic scene that I'm sure happened plenty of times when this dinosaur was actually alive. There is actually some consideration for bringing this model back and selling a few kits of it. The model actually measures about 20 inches long, so it's definitely a very sizable piece. The retail price at this point in time they are thinking would be around $200 to $250, which is actually a really good price for a model like this, especially of that size and overall beauty, because it is sculpted, in my opinion, to perfection. But I think at this point, Dana Geraths is just kind of waiting to see if there's any interest in the model itself. So I'm actually going to include a link in the description to Dana Geraths on Facebook, where you can contact them to inquire further about picking one of these models up and hopefully persuade them into actually creating this model and bringing it back for sale. Also, as far as Playmobil goes, and I don't often cover Playmobil, but I thought this was just too good to resist, they are going to be launching a new line of dinosaur figures called Dino Riders, and you can see from this image right here that they are very heavily inspired kind of by Dino Riders, or at least that's what they look like to me. Apparently there is a show on YouTube called The Legend of Dino Rock, which I have never actually even heard of up until this point, but now after seeing this image and seeing what is lying ahead in the future of Playmobil, I am very intrigued by it, so I'll have to check that out. But these figures are really cool looking, and I do have 2 Playmobil figures in my collection at this point in time, so if these actually start to show up at Walmart or somewhere nearby, I may actually end up picking some of these up because they just look incredibly cool. Also, as far as Marco Makes goes, he has recently sculpted a Battle at Big Rock Allosaurus bust, and this is something that personally I would love to see get added into his Kingdom Collection line, because I really am a big fan of the overall appearance of the Allosaurus from that film, and I think that Marco has sculpted his out to perfection as far as this goes, even including things like scars and stuff, really giving it that kind of haggard, beat up look like the Allosaurus had in the Battle at Big Rock short film. And he has stated that he's not entirely sure if that one will actually get added in or if he'll release it. It may have just been something that he sculpted for fun, which is crazy that he would sculpt something this incredible just for fun. But I personally would absolutely love to see this included in that line, and I would love personally to get a hold of one because it is just incredible looking as far as these images go. Any type of an Allosaurus sculpted by Marco Makes is a surefire hit if you ask me. And speaking of Marco and the Kingdom Collection, we have a little bit of an updated image here as far as his Rexy bust goes. You can see exactly what is currently going on with it, and boy does it look beautiful. Like, talk about screen accuracy when it comes to this model. It is just, again, perfectly portraying Rexy from Jurassic World, scars and all. And I cannot wait to get a hold of this, as well as, of course, the Velociraptor Blue bust that is actually nearing release. Both of them look incredible, but it is definitely nice to see an updated look at the Rexy bust as well. And then as far as David Silva and the Beasts of the Mesozoic goes, we have a look at the 1/18th scale Raptors series, and I really wanted to show this image here specifically because you can get a really good idea as far as the size of the raptor in comparison to some of the 1/18th scale ceratopsians. Seeing how small these figures are actually just gives me an entirely newfound respect for the models. As you look at the images of them up close here, you can see that they're just as highly detailed and as beautiful as the 1/6 scale Raptors were, but at only a fraction of the size. It really shows you how impressive these models are overall, and I'm really excited to get a hold of some of these, check them out with you guys, but just also to be able to add them to my collection, because it'll be nice to have some Raptors that go to scale with the majority of the Ceratopsian series. Definitely some beautiful work here, as per usual, from the Beasts of the Mesozoic line. And then as far as iToy goes, we actually haven't heard much from them for quite some time, but it does appear as though the Dilophosaurus that we had seen teased a little ways back will actually get a release here in 2021, and we can see the fully painted up images of it, and man, this is easily the best looking Jurassic Park style Dilophosaurus that I think I've seen in a very long time. Definitely better than the Iron Studios version that they had released, as I felt that one was a bit of a letdown, if you can recall my review of it. If the actual paint application of iToys turns out anything like these promotional images here that we see, it'll definitely be one of, if not the best versions of a JP style Dilophosaurus out there. The paintwork on it looks just gorgeous, really nice, bright and vibrant, and knowing iToy, they probably will apply a beautiful paint application to their factory release figure, because they usually do deliver in the paint aspect of their models, and I'm really psyched about this Dilophosaurus and just generally some new iToy. And then as far as Mesozoic Life goes, we have a look at the paint scheme for their Spinosaurus. We finally now can see what it will look like, or at least close to this, as this is just the prototype, so of course it'll alter slightly from this when we see the factory released figure, because this one of course was painted by a professional artist, and then the factory released version will look, I'm sure, really close to this, but honestly it looks beautiful as far as the paint scheme that they've chosen for it. I really love the tones of color, the really nice grayish coloration, and such a cool idea as far as painting up the sail of the Spinosaurus. I really like that. Almost has like a fiery type look, almost like asteroids coming and landing on Earth, but all contained within the sail of the Spinosaurus. I don't know, it's just a really cool look, really flashy, but all really nice and natural tones of color for the model overall. And in my opinion, it's definitely the nicest looking Spinosaurus that is on the market currently as far as both the sculpt and paintwork. It is just beautiful, and I cannot wait to finally see this thing get released, as we've had a lot of updates about this as time has gone on, and now that we are getting closer and closer to the date that it will actually get released, I am beyond excited. And then as far as Rebor goes, we do have a look at the Pteranodon now, as far as a little bit of a better look here at the head sculpt, and it definitely appears to be a JP3 inspired Pteranodon. You can really see it now with this side profile, or at least sort of a side profile, but they actually are going to be releasing this with two different heads as far as the head sculpt goes, and you can see the alternate version right here with a much smaller crest on it. Very interesting looking, and I'm definitely psyched to see what the figure looks like with paint on it, although it probably will be quite some time before we actually get a look at that. And a huge thank you to Collect Jurassic for this information, but if you are familiar with the fact that currently at Target there has been a really interesting Velociraptor Blue figure showing up, it is actually called the Goo Jitzu Velociraptor Blue. Well, they will actually be releasing a few other members of the Raptor squad at some point later on in the year, as we can see the sneak peek right here of Echo, which I think looks really cool, honestly. I'm definitely a fan of these stretchy Raptor figures. I have yet to actually obtain the Velociraptor Blue, but I do have one that is on its way to me right now, and we also will be getting a Charlie as well, so really fun looking figures. Definitely will be cool to get the Raptor squad with this type of a look, but hopefully Delta will get a release as well, as we don't see Delta included in any of these images. So far it's only 3 of the 4 Raptor squad. And we also recently had a few pre-orders go up on BigBadToyStore.com as far as the Amber Collection goes. Again, a thank you to Collect Jurassic for this information. But we have the Amber Collection, John Hammond and Ellie Sattler have recently gone up for pre-order, which is definitely pretty cool. Cannot wait to see more human characters added into the Amber Collection line. But we also have the Jurassic Park 3 Velociraptor. No word yet on if it is a male or female version, but I cannot wait to see prototype images of it regardless. And we have the Dimorphodon 2-pack, so I guess that I'll have 2 Dimorphodons in there maybe? I guess that's really what makes sense as far as that term goes. As far as a 2-pack, I'd imagine it would be 2 Dimorphodon, and that's definitely really exciting as well. Cannot wait to see those, especially after how good of a job Mattel did on the Pteranodon. We also have a look at the in-box image of the Carcharadontosaurus, which I'm not so sure about this one. Every time I see a new image, I'm a little thrown off by it. The previous images that we had seen had shown off the detailing aspect of the figure, and it really looked beautiful. But now the in-box image, although the box art itself looks fantastic, but it has me a little bit let down again as far as the figure goes. So I really think that this one is just kind of a back and forth for me, and it's just going to be something that I'll have to decide on when I see it in person. I am excited about it regardless, but I kind of have mixed emotions as far as the overall appearance goes. And the final thing that I have as far as Mattel, and a huge thank you to Alpha Raptor Reviews, are images of the Masiakasaurus, and it looks really cool. Again, not exactly an accurate interpretation of this dinosaur by any means, but is it a really cool, kind of an off-the-wall, somewhat exaggerated version of the dinosaur? Yes, it definitely is. I'm really excited to see a new species added into the Mattel line, even if it is, not remotely accurate at all, but it's still a really cool looking figure, and it does have some awesome articulation in the neck, or at least it seems to. I love that swivel articulation whenever they add that onto their figures in the neck area of the Mattel line, and this one does seem to have it, so it's definitely a figure that I personally am looking forward to, and these images here let me know that it definitely, again, even though it's not accurate, still looks really quite cool. So as of right now, guys, that's all the news I've got. When more comes out, I'll be sure to send it your way, but until then, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.